Welcome back to Chat Like a Native, the deep dive, designed to really cut through the noise and give you the most impactful insights for mastering your English. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever been mid-conversation, feeling pretty good, your English is flowing, and then suddenly, bam, someone throws an unexpected question your way?
Mhm.
Or the topic just takes a sharp turn and your mind just, well, goes blank.
Yeah, that freeze moment.
Exactly. You freeze up, not sure what to say next. Honestly, it's an incredibly common thing, often frustrating, right, for anyone learning a new language.
Oh, totally. It happens to everyone.
But what if those moments didn't have to completely derail you?
It's so true. That moment of hesitation, it can feel incredibly exposing, can it? Like suddenly there's a spotlight just pointed right at you. And it's so easy then to get flustered, maybe just go silent, or maybe worse, fall back on those nervous filler words.
Yeah, I think
The ums and the right. But what if you could not only handle those moments with like genuine grace, but actually use them to your advantage? Make yourself sound even more confident, more thoughtful, more natural.
Okay, I'm listening.
Well, that's precisely our mission for this deep dive. We're going to unpack two incredibly simple, yet honestly profoundly powerful tools. Things we found in the materials you sent over. They can really transform how you speak English.
Just simple and powerful. I like the sound of that.
Yeah. And by the end of our conversation, you'll have practical, really actionable strategies to manage that conversational pressure, keep things flowing smoothly, and ultimately make you sound like a much more polished and confident English speaker.
Okay, so these aren't just little tricks then. We're talking about strong one-line replies and the magic of the pause. Is that right?
That's them.
So think of these as like foundational conversational habits. They're designed to give your brain that vital space it needs, to process, organize your thoughts, help you manage that internal pressure cooker feeling, and really elevate your whole speaking game.
Exactly. It's less about memorizing tons of vocabulary, though that's important too, of course. But this is more about mastering the rhythm, the psychology of
The
conversation.
rhythm. I like that.
Yeah. And these are skills that'll serve you really well, whether you're just, chatting with friends or giving a big presentation or even taking a language exam. They work everywhere.
Okay, great. Let's dive into the first one then. These strong one-line replies. I can just picture that moment. Someone asks you something totally out of the blue, and your first reaction is, well, it's often panic, isn't it?
Yeah. Pure panic. Your brain just scrambles.
Right. Scrambles for the perfect answer, and sometimes nothing really coherent comes out. I've definitely been there. Trying to translate in my head, trying to sound spontaneous. It doesn't work.
No, it's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
And that's exactly where these one-line replies become your, secret weapon. Instead of rushing out some garbled, half-baked answer or, worse, just saying nothing and looking completely lost.
Which feels awful.
It does. So use a short, pre-prepared phrase. Think of it like a verbal airbag.
Okay, a verbal airbag.
Yeah. It deploys instantly, protects you from the impact,
Yep.
And it buys you a few really precious seconds to get yourself together.
Like hitting a mental pause button, but you're still talking.
Exactly. You're keeping the conversation alive. You're still engaged, but you've created that little buffer. Your notes really highlighted how crucial this kind of verbal safety net can be.
I really like that verbal airbag idea. And the great thing is, these aren't complicated sentences, right? It's not like linguistic gymnastics.
Not at all. Simple, direct.
Super effective. So, okay, imagine someone asks you a tricky question in a meeting. Instead of just or you could calmly say, and I really want you, listening now, to picture yourself using these. That's a great question, let me think. See? Straight away you're engaged, but you haven't committed yet.
Buys you that moment.
Or, let me see. It just sounds so calm, so considered.
Yeah, it projects thoughtfulness.
Another good one. Good point. I just need a moment. Polite, but clear.
Right. Or how about, I have a few ideas. Give me one sec.
Love that. Or, interesting. One moment, please.
Yeah, these are fantastic because as some of the research you shared pointed out, they do way more than just buy time. When you use a phrase like, let me gather my thoughts, or that reminds me. But hold on a sec. You're not just pausing.
Right.
You're actually starting this, cognitive reappraisal in your brain. You're consciously shifting gears.
From panic mode.
Exactly. From that threat response, the panic, to seeing it as an opportunity for a better, more thoughtful response. It's kind of rewiring your conversational reflexes.
Wow. Okay. From reactive to strategic. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it strikes me, too, that these phrases are huge for just keeping the conversation polite and natural, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Social etiquette.
Yeah, saying, let me think about that for a moment, or even, can I get back to you on that? If it's really complex, sounds way better than just stammering.
Much more natural, much more engaged.
Plus, practically speaking, they literally give your brain that mini break, don't they? To process what was said, organize your words.
Yeah. Organize your thoughts so what comes out next is actually clear and makes sense.
And crucially, as you said, these replies make you sound thoughtful, deliberate, not flustered or like you weren't prepared.
Exactly. You project this image of someone who considers their words carefully. That's a fantastic perception to create.
Yeah. Even something simple like, let me put it this way, that can be a great transition, right? Gives you that final second to line things up before you speak.
Precisely. Smooths the transition into your actual point.
It just changes the whole feel of the interaction. I mean, think about being asked a tough question in class or a work meeting. Instead of just stammering, you calmly say, let me see. And instantly, everyone watching thinks, okay, they're thinking, they're composed, not, oh no, they're stuck.
Totally shifts the perception.
You've bought time, you look confident, and you're actually preparing a better answer. It's a huge win. I remember freezing in presentations. If only I'd known.
Well, now you do. And that leads us perfectly into our second tool, equally powerful, maybe even more so sometimes, but often overlooked.
Okay.
The power of the silent pause.
Ah, silence. The awkward silence.
Well, we tend to feel uncomfortable with silence, don't we, in conversation?
Yeah.
We often see it as awkward, or like something's gone wrong.
Yeah, we rush to fill it.
We do. But as the material suggests, sometimes silence, intentional silence, can be way more powerful than just filling the gap with words. It's a strategic choice, not just an empty space.
Okay, I think a lot of us, myself included, definitely reach for those fillers, like or like just to avoid silence.
The default reaction.
But a well-placed intentional pause, it does so much more, right? What do you see as the biggest benefit?
Good question. For me, it's probably twofold. First, it gives your listeners crucial time to process, to absorb your ideas, especially after you said something important or maybe a bit complex.
Right, like a little breathing room for them.
Exactly. It's like a gift of clarity to your audience. And second, and maybe this is more subtle, it projects huge confidence.
How so?
Well, a calm, deliberate pause feels much stronger, much more impactful than nervously filling the space with ums and ahs.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
It signals that you're actually in control. Control of your thoughts, control of your delivery. It lets your mind stay organized and pick the right words instead of just letting them, tumble out.
I totally agree. It also builds anticipation, doesn't it? Like when a skilled speaker pauses right before the main point, or maybe before a punchline in a story.
Yes. That silence draws you in, makes you lean forward a bit. And the words that follow just land with more impact. They're more memorable.
And for you, the speaker, it just gives you that mental space, that beat to prepare your next sentence properly, to craft it instead of just reacting on the fly.
Indeed. And if we look at the different types of strategic pauses, you see they serve different jobs.
Yeah.
There's what you might call the preemptive pause. That's a brief silence before you even start speaking. Commands attention right away. Signals something important is coming.
Okay. Sets the stage.
Exactly. Then there's the punchline pause. That short, sharp silence right before you deliver a key idea or maybe a funny line makes it hit harder, more memorable.
Got it. And what about when others react?
Ah, yes, the audience pause.
Yeah.
So important. Just letting a moment happen, allowing time for laughter or maybe a reaction or even a question to settle before you jump back in.
Shows respect, right? You're listening to the room.
Precisely. And finally, the thoughtful pause. This is where you give listeners time to digest something complex you've just explained. Let it sink in before you move on. It's about letting your words really resonate.
As you're describing that, I'm thinking it's like the spaces in music. That's a great analogy someone used.
Oh, I love that.
Without those pauses, music would just be noise, wouldn't it? A jumble.
Wall of sound.
Yeah. So in spoken English, these pauses, they give it rhythm, they bring clarity, and they actually infuse your words with like deeper meaning.
That's a perfect way to put it. The spaces give the notes meaning.
Mm.
And here's where it gets really exciting. The real magic, the true conversational superpowers, they emerge when you start using both of these tools together.
Ah, the synergy.
Yes, strong one-line replies and pauses. They just amplify each other's power like crazy.
Okay, this is what I want to hear. Let's see it in action. How do they actually work together? Give us some, concrete examples.
Okay, let's try a scenario. Imagine you're at a team meeting. Your manager turns to you unexpectedly and asks, "What's your biggest concern about the new product launch next quarter?"
Okay, pressure's on.
Right? Instead of blurting out the first worry that pops into your head, you might start with a one-liner. That's a crucial question. Let me consider the core vulnerabilities for a moment.
Okay, nice. Buys you time. Sounds professional.
Exactly. And then comes the pause.
Yeah.
Maybe just 3, 4, 5 seconds of silence.
And in that silence, you're not just thinking, you're actually framing your answer, right? Deciding the key point.
Precisely. You're structuring it. And then you deliver your well-thought-out point, but you weave in pauses strategically as you speak. You might continue, well, the primary risk, slight pause as I see it, slight pause, lies in the integration with our legacy system.
Oh, okay. Those little pauses there.
Yeah.
They really emphasize primary risk and legacy system. Makes it sound much more authoritative.
Exactly. It gives weight to those key terms. You've gone from potentially stammering to sounding incredibly deliberate, really strategic.
That's a brilliant example. The one-liner prepares the ground, the pause lets you frame it, and then more pauses add impact to the delivery. And I can see, too, like in a faster chat, if someone laughs or makes a comment, using that audience pause lets the moment breathe. You don't just talk over them.
Right. It shows you're present, you're listening, not just waiting for your turn to jump back in. It builds rapport.
Yeah.
And what's really fascinating here, something your research touched on, is how this changes perception. When you answer slowly, thoughtfully, using these tools consciously, people actually perceive you as more intelligent, more deliberate, more articulate.
Really? Not as struggling with the language.
No. That's the amazing part. They don't think, oh, they're slow because English is hard for them. They think, wow, they're really thinking about this. They're choosing their words carefully.
That's a huge psychological advantage.
Massive. In any conversation, any language.
Okay, this is why this deep dive is so essential for you listening right now, our intermediate English learner. These aren't just fancy tricks for native speakers or professional presenters. They're incredibly practical tools for your everyday journey to chat like a native.
They absolutely are.
They target those exact pressure points we all feel when learning.
They really do. Let's just break down the specific advantages for you. First, and maybe most importantly, less stress.
Ah, yes, please.
You gain breathing room. You don't feel that intense pressure to speak perfectly instantly. That alone is a total game changer for so many learners. It turns that anxiety into, thoughtful preparation.
Okay. Less stress. What else?
Second, a huge boost in clarity. Using these short, prepared phrases, using pauses, it naturally keeps your English clearer, easier to understand. Because you're not rushing, your articulation actually improves.
Right. You're not tripping over your words, which leads directly into a more natural flow, I guess.
Exactly. You start to sound more like a confident, native-like speaker, less like someone who's mentally translating every single word,
Yeah, that robotic feeling.
Right. The rhythm of your speech becomes more fluid, more engaging, much more like the speakers you probably admire.
Okay, so less stress, more clarity, natural flow.
And stronger overall skills. Seriously, mastering the pause and the short reply is fantastic training for pretty much all real-life speaking situations, from presentations to interviews to just chatting with neighbors.
And you mentioned one more.
Ah, yes. Often overlooked, but so important.
Bro.
Better listening.
How does pausing help listening?
Well, when you incorporate pauses, you give yourself time, not just to think, but to truly listen to others, to fully get what they're saying. And maybe even more importantly, to listen to your own thoughts before you speak them. It fosters a more engaged, more mindful approach to the whole conversation.
Okay, that makes sense. You absorb more, respond better.
Precisely.
Right, so we know why these tools are great. How do you actually start integrating them? It's one thing to know about them, another to actually do them under pressure.
Great question. It's all about practice, making them habits.
So we've got some actionable tips straight from the notes you sent. First, rehearse those one-liners.
Pick your favorites.
Yeah. Pick maybe 2 or 3 that feel comfortable for you. Maybe that's a great question, let me think. Or, let me see. And just practice them out loud.
Say them to the mirror.
Sure. Or role play with a friend. The key is making them feel automatic, second nature, so you don't have to think about them when you need them.
Good one. Another fantastic tip is to record yourself.
Ooh, the dreaded recording.
I know. Nobody likes hearing their own voice. But it's so valuable. Grab your phone, record yourself talking for a minute, Maybe answer a practice question. Then listen back. Pay attention. How often are you using, or, are you rushing?
And then try again?
Yes. Consciously try to replace those fillers with a strategic pause or one of your practiced one-liners. That self-awareness you get from recording is absolutely key.
Okay, that's a good concrete exercise. You can also actively practice pausing, right?
Right.
Like, just read something aloud.
Yes. Take any short text, a news article, a paragraph from a book. Read it aloud. And after every sentence, deliberately pause. Like for 2 full seconds. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
Feels unnatural at first, probably.
It might, but feel the rhythm it creates. Notice how much more authoritative, how much clearer it sounds. That feeling will start to transfer to your spontaneous speech.
Okay, and then take it into the real world.
Definitely. Use them in class or meetings. Next time you're asked for your opinion in a group, instead of defaulting to, try, that's interesting, followed by a nice, thoughtful pause. Feel the control it gives you.
Yeah, take the plunge. And for presentations.
Oh, especially for presentations. Try beginning with a silent, confident pause before you even say your opening line. It grabs everyone's attention immediately, commands the room.
Powerful start. And finally,
Watch and learn. Pay attention to skilled speakers. Watch interviews, TED Talks. Listen carefully to other podcasts, maybe.
see how they do it.
Exactly. Notice how they use pauses. Notice their short replies or transition phrases. You'll start to pick up on their cadence, their rhythm. And you can start borrowing bits that work for you, adapting them to your own style.
It's about conscious observation, then imitation and adaptation.
Precisely. These aren't just abstract ideas. These tools are incredibly versatile. You can use them almost anywhere.
Like in just everyday conversations.
Absolutely. Anytime you get that little flicker of pressure or uncertainty, these are your instant go-to strategies, your verbal toolkit.
Okay. And what about, say, group discussions or Zoom calls? Those can be fast-paced.
Perfect place for them. A phrase like, interesting point, I'll need to think on that for a sec, combined with a pause. Super effective. Shows you're engaged, but gives you breathing room. Stops you feeling steamrollered.
Yeah, prevents you from being talked over or feeling rushed. And more formal stuff.
For sure. In presentations or even broadcasts like we're doing now, use that opening pause. Use pauses to really emphasize your key messages. And end with a pause too. Let your final words hang in the air, leave a lasting impression.
Gives your words weight. Allows people to absorb them.
And for anyone listening who's preparing for language exams, IELTS, TOEFL, Cambridge exam.
Oh yeah, this is huge for exams.
Absolutely huge. Replacing those nervous fillers, those ums and ahs, with a calm, let me see, and a well-placed pause. It makes you sound so much more polished, more confident.
Demonstrates thoughtfulness, control, not hesitation or lack of vocabulary.
Exactly. It can genuinely make a difference to your score, besides just making you feel better during the exam itself.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive then, let's recap the core message. Remember these 2 amazing takeaways. Those strong one-line replies. They're your secret weapon. Manage mental blocks, buy you time, keep you in control.
Your verbal airbag.
Yes. And intentional pauses. They make your speech clearer, they make you sound more confident, and they make your ideas much more impactful. They let things land.
That's right. And used together, they don't just fix problems like freezing up. They actually create a more natural, more fluent rhythm in your English.
Yeah.
You'll make fewer mistakes because you're giving yourself that vital time to think. And maybe the biggest benefit, they significantly boost your confidence.
Yeah, you'll hear it in your speech, but maybe more importantly, you'll feel it in your interaction.
That feeling of control.
And these aren't, super complex linguistic theories. They're really quite easy to practice.
Very practical.
Yeah. And once you internalize them, make them a habit, you are going to feel a really transformative difference in your everyday English conversations. It's about empowering your brain, giving it the space it needs.
So here's a final thought for you to mull over. The next time you're in an English conversation and you feel that familiar moment of hesitation starting to creep in,
Yeah.
just try this. Say, let me see. Or another one of your practice phrases. Follow it with a quiet, confident pause. Just a second or two. And then express your idea. You'll not only sound more fluent, more thoughtful, but you'll feel calmer, more in control. And that feeling, that's a massive step, a huge win on your journey to truly chat like a native.